Greetings, I hope this video finds you well. This is going to be a birth chart reading for the actor Jim Caviezel. Jim Caviezel is known for playing Jesus Christ in the movie The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson in 2004. And he's back in the limelight again for his role in the movie The Sound of Freedom, which I myself have seen twice now. It's a really well done movie, and regardless if you like Jim or not, I would suggest going and watching it because it really highlights a very important, dark subject that's been going on for a long time. But regardless of that, this reading is going to show you the inner workings of Jim Caviezel and how what he's doing is all reflected in his chart. 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it in my book. So I like to start. I guess I like to re-emphasize what we're looking at to make it easier to understand my analysis. So this is a 24-hour analog clock. It's a snapshot of when you were born, the planets where they were, as they were on their course, circling over the earth. This is the earth. It is a mirror reflection from the heavens above. This is what it is. It's a 360-degree pie chart of the sky. So Jim Caviezel was born at 11:14 a.m. in Mount Vernon, Washington State, on the West Coast. So if you see here, if this is sunrise, and then this is noon, that the highest point of the sky, then here is this is when he was born. So this is 6 a.m. It's like every 2 hours you get, if this is 24 hours and is divided into 4 sections, it would be 6 hours for each quarter. So this is how you can deduce, oh, if he's born 11:14 a.m., okay, well then his sun would have to be in the third part of that first quarter. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. It's like 11:14 would be the third section. So there it is. There's his sun. Now right away, when we're looking at this, there's a few things that just immediately jump out. Okay? And it's an exact reflection of who Jim is. All right? He's had a big career. If you look at his career, he's been lucky. Okay? And it has there's no, well, in his book he might say not so lucky, but in hindsight, it's been a successful career in the public. He was born to be in the public and well known. If you have a lot of planets like this in the 10th house, this is the career house. This is your public image. He has a drive and a will to be known. He is being called. He'll say it's his calling. He's being called to be well known. Now, Sun conjunct Uranus. Now, this is an interesting placement. And I just want to go to this website. I reference him a lot. He's an Australian guy. He really knows his stuff. He doesn't do the house system. He just does aspects. But I want to show you Sun conjunct Uranus, and this is a very interesting aspect. I've known some people who have this, and you see it. You see the similarities. It gives people. So if Uranus is how unique you are and how original you are, then Sun conjunct Uranus, it's going to give you a unique self-expression. There's just going to be a uniqueness to you, and you're going to stand out. Okay? And so this is kind of what you see with Jim. It's like there's this eccentricity to him that's interesting. It's like you want to watch him. You're like, what's going on with this guy? He's got a lot going on beneath the surface, and I'll get back to how that ties to this. But this aspect here is interesting to me because, again, Uranus is how unique you are, how original you are. He's going to be very original in how he presents himself to the public. And it's kind of like refreshing. Like, oh, this guy's, he stands out. Right? You may stand out from the crowd because of your peculiar interest or career. And he can have this shock factor to him about how he talks about stuff. And again, that shock factor is related to his career. It is all there. Okay? Now, just to the right, up here, we have Pluto conjunct Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's also conjunct Uranus. So everything I just talked about here with Uranus, it's big. He's got these two planets conjunct, but he also has Uranus conjunct Jupiter. Now, this just brings excess to his originality. Big. It's expansive. It's philosophical. He's a very philosophical person. And even more so, Pluto conjunct Jupiter. It brings this intensity to him. He's going to be very intense with how he's going to be very intense with his career. This fusion of Pluto and Jupiter. This is like digging up. He's digging up all the darkness, sex, death, rebirth, transformation, everything Pluto related. Occult things, hidden things, spirituality. Jupiter is spirituality, religion, and conjunct Pluto. So he's going to be very intense with his religion. Not to mention, these are all in Virgo. Virgo is on the spiritual axis with Pisces. It is a hermetic, spiritual sign and axis. So he's got all this going on and in Virgo. Now Virgo's analytical. So he has an analytical lens with how he approaches. Analytical hermetic lens. To how he goes about his career choices. And like what job did he just play? What was the character's profession? An undercover agent taking over sex traffickers. Like what Pluto deals with all of that. Undercover, hidden things. Sex worker, trafficking. So he's going to gravitate 150% to a role like that. That's going to expose, and this is freedom also. Freedom and rebellion against the establishment. Like he's doing it, and he's showing you. And not to mention, these planets are all in Virgo, but he is a Libra. And so there's this sense of balance, of harmony with how he goes about his roles, but just the way he speaks. There's this teaching. There's this teaching thing to him. It's almost like he's teaching you through his roles. That's the balance that he has. It's almost like he's a, in my opinion, anyone who's a Libra, they're just natural kind of, they're natural teachers. They have a sense of calm to them. So everything I say, at the core, Jim's going to be somewhat calm in how he goes about it. Okay? And you see that in him. But this right here, this stellium going on in his career house, it's huge. It's massive. And not to mention Mars. Well, where is Mars? Mars is at the highest point in the sky. Anytime you have planets on the cardinal points, on these axes, if you have a planet here like he has, I'm gonna get into this in a minute, and this is huge. Anytime you have planets going on here, they emphasize that energy coming through. Now, why is that? Well, this is because at the cardinal points, it's you're launching a season, and you're launching the time of the day. So if this is launching summer, this is hot. Lots of energy and action. Cardinal points, these are cardinal points. There's a lot of action involved with them. Aries is a cardinal sign. Action. I myself am an Aries. Jim is a Libra. Action. Lots of action. Okay? But done in an air elemental quality. Balance. Harmony. Peacekeeping. He wants to uncover all this, but do it in a peaceful, harmonious way. And he'll be as aggressive as he can in doing it. Having Mars here. This is huge for career. These people who have Mars on the MC, they are extremely driven to succeed in their career. And, it's almost like they have a bulldozer and they're going straight for their goals. And if there's anyone in the way that conflicts with them, there's going to be issues and there's going to be conflict. Okay? And that's saying it in the best of ways. Okay? But if you have Mars on the MC like he has, lots of action and aggression and going after your highest calling. So his highest calling, he's got the God of War. He's going to be a warrior. And you see that. This man is a spiritual warrior. Now, really interesting is that not only is this MC point in Virgo like all these other points. Again, Virgo is a spiritual, mystical sign. So his career has to involve that. And it does. And you see it. You see it. 100%. Health. His career will involve, he will come off as he comes off like a mystic, this man. Okay? He has this innate knowledge, the spiritual wisdom going on. Now that is directly related through this aspect down here. His moon and his Neptune. Okay, so he's a spiritual warrior. He's got a square coming from Mars. The square is a humor that is Mars ruled. It's hot and it's dry. So it's a lot of there's a lot of, I wouldn't say conflict, but there's ambition with this square. Square is ambition. It gives you initiative. So he has a square going from Mars in Virgo to Neptune in Scorpio. Okay, now Neptune rules the 12th house in spirituality, subconscious, psychology, religion. He has, his ascendant is a martial, intense. It's a very intense rising sign. People who have Scorpio rising, not only do they have sex appeal, because Scorpio is related to sex, but these people will be interested in all of these darker things. And this is what you see in Jim. You see a guy who is very martial. Mars and Pluto rules Scorpio. So he's very martial in how he goes about his spirituality, because Neptune, this is the ruler of spirituality, and his dreams, and his it also rules fantasies and illusions, movies, and he's going to wear. It's also sensitivity. Jupiter, Neptune. People who have Neptune on the ascendant, like he has, this is conjunct. Neptune conjunct the ascendant. Where is this? You can see here. I can show you the glyph, and I'll go Neptune. There's the ascendant, AC, and there's the conjunct sign. Neptune is conjunct the ascendant by 6 degrees, a 6-degree orb. So he is going to wear his sensitivity and his spirituality on his person, on his sleeve. He will show you on his face when he talks about anything, the depth of this person, the spiritual depth, the sensitivity. You see it on Jim's face, because this is the self. This is what you first see. This is your this is the mask that you show people. So he is going to be very, and he has that gaze, that eagle-like gaze. People who have Scorpio ascendants, they have this piercing gaze, this kind of like, again, it's related to sex. It's like it attracts people because they have sex appeal. And so he'll have that gaze to him where it's like he's like peering through your soul. Scorpio risings are very unique in that. It makes them attractive, and it draws people to them because it's almost like they can see through you. It's a very intense, transformative rising sign. And so he's got Neptune on the ascendant, conjunct his moon, which is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a very happy-go-lucky sign. So he has that that kind of energy to his emotionality. It's there's a lot of Sagittarians are known for smiling. So amidst this intensity and this balance that he has going on with his sun and his rising, he has that smiley kind of otherness to him, where he'll show you his smile. They're very gregarious, these Sagittarius moons. They're very lively. My mom is a Sagittarius moon. It's hard for them. It's a very fiery moon to have. Happy-go-lucky. A lot of excitement. It's the horse, right? So people that have any Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius moon, or Sagittarius, they will be smiley people. Like the horse. The horse travels long distance. Long distance is a theme with Sagittarius. So infusing all of that going on with this moon, this fiery moon, it's infused with his spirituality. So he's going to be very spiritually and emotionally vested. in religion, in spiritual matters. And he's going to show you that on his person. He's going to wear his spirituality and his emotions on his sleeve. And you see that. He's a very sensitive, emotional actor. And that is what brings him success. Now, so you have that conjunction going on, and they're both squaring Mars in his career, in the mystical sign of Virgo. So you see, this is a direct explanation. This is a map of someone's life, of someone's personality. Now, I just want to touch on a few more of these points here. People who have Mercury conjunct Venus, like Jim has, like I do. I have a 1-degree conjunction. He's got a 2-degree conjunction. These people are going to be gifted with how they speak. Okay, now these planets are kind of on the cusp of the 12th and the 11th house, but again, you can just say, okay, they're in both. So he's going to bring a lot of beauty into how he speaks about this house and intensity, since this is in Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio Venus is 0 degrees Scorpio, so there's going to be an intensity to how he loves himself and others. And then his communication is going to be, he's going to be a very humanitarian person. If these two planets are on the cusp of the spiritual house and the humanitarian house, he's going to fight for humanity. And that's what you see. He's fighting the spiritual battle for humanity. And he's speaking it out in a very beautiful way. Actors are usually, they have this beauty of speech, and he has that. And it's receiving this cusp fusion of Libra and Scorpio energies in these two houses. And so even if this Venus is in the 12th house on the cusp, he's bringing a lot of beauty to how he speaks about spiritual matters. And you see that. It's a very interesting chart. Every chart is interesting. But this is being someone so much in the public sphere, I wanted to talk about him. Now, there's one more thing I want to note here. Now, there's other aspects I didn't really go over, but like for instance, he's got these planets here are receiving a harmonious sextile. So he's getting a lot of harmony coming in from this spiritual and emotional side to him into this stellium, and then the action into the well, this is all career, but and you see that in him. Like these 2 points here, they're sending all the energy, all the spiritual and fiery emotionality to Jim. Is just sending it all to his career. His face, this is his face, his inner world, boom, career. And then this aspect, another harmonious sextile to Mars. So there, it's all there. Now, one more thing, this Saturn down here and his North Node, this is, and this Chiron is interesting because this is the home, family. So wounds wounds with family. And he'll be very spiritual. This is Pisces. This is a spiritual sign in his home. So his home will be very spiritual and religious. Now his North Node in Aries, in the 5th house, this is the house of creativity. So he's got a lot of ambition and action. This is a cardinal sign, and this is a cardinal planet. This is career. His career is going to involve creativity. And it might take him a while. Sometimes there's delays when you have Saturn in your career house. But if you have this receiving a trine, it counterbalances that. It cancels it out. So his Saturn is trining Mars in his career. So you can see that there wouldn't be delays. He's getting this great relationship from Mars up here. But this is his romantic life. This is his leisurely activities, how much fun he has. He'll be very structured in all those areas. Saturn brings structure and order. So he'll be very goal-oriented, driven in his creative career. Creative career. A trine going on here. And then this is his soul mission. You know, what lessons do you want to learn in this lifetime? Well, they're going to be related to creativity. And interesting to note that this isn't receiving any aspects. Very interesting. So there's no conflict with this North Node. Now, I should take that back a bit, because sometimes they won't show the North Node aspects. But, you know, if you do have the North Node conjunct like a certain sign, like it's like I have North Node conjunct the moon, they're not going to show it on the chart, but it's there. And it's important. So this North Node actually is opposite all this. So it does have a relationship. 9 degrees Aries would be his North Node is opposite his Sun. So it is related. But again, North Node in the house of creativity in the sign of Aries. This is ambition, action. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That is the birth chart of Jim Caviezel. And just to kind of round out the houses, I want to show you, you know, if he's got Aries here in his 5th house, well, and then he's got Pisces, so his home is going to be spiritual. His creativity is going to have a lot of action and aggression and impulsiveness and drive. You know, his health is going to be Taurus related, very grounded and stubborn. His 7th house is going to have the Gemini, the communication. He's going to be very grounded and stable. This is stability. So he'll be very stable in his health. He doesn't have any planets there. Now, he did have an accident from the lightning, and that would be something I could touch on later in a different video. But this Gemini here in the house of partnerships, this is great. He's a good communicator when it comes to business partnerships and the like, and he's stable. And then the same goes for the 8th house. He's going to be very sensitive when it comes to these 8th house matters. Very motherly in how he approaches the sex and the death and the rebirth and the transformative occult things. And then his philosophical life is going to be very bold and fiery. You know, the way that he approaches philosophy is done, it comes from the heart. You know, and you see that in him. So it's about 30 minutes. I want to wrap it up there. But this is the birth chart of Jim Caviezel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.